All right. Number 14, you first need to figure out the mass of your water. You know that density is mass over volume, where rho is density, m is mass, and v is volume. What density? The density of water is 1 gram per milliliter. This information to find the mass of your water. Hey, your mass is however many milliliters it is, but it's in grams. So if you had 120 grams, you have 100, or 120 milliliters, you have 120 grams. So all you have to do for 14 is write down your milliliter number. There you go. You're done. 14, done. 15. The specific heat capacity of water is 4.186 joules per gram degrees Celsius. I've got to talk slower. This means 4.186 joules of heat is needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Use the equation at the top of the page to figure out how many joules of energy were absorbed by water and in turn theoretically released by the Cheetoh. So what we're doing is we're using your temperature change to figure out how much energy the water absorbed. In theory, the Cheetoh gave off exactly that many joules of energy. And so we're going to use it to figure out how many joules of energy the Cheetoh has. That's what we're trying to figure out here. So what you need to do is do Q equals MC delta T. You're going to do it just for your own data. So M is whatever your mass of water was, whether it's 100 or 180 or 200 or whatever. That's what the mass is. C is the same value for everybody, 4.186. And delta T is whatever your temperature change was. So whatever you had for delta T, that's what you're going to plug in. So go ahead and plug that in and solve and get an answer for 15. See what you can get for Q. You want to get it in food calories. To do that, you've got to divide by 4,186.8. So go ahead and start working on 15. If you need to borrow a calculator, come borrow one. Start working on 15. I'm going to come around and try to help out. That's 16. Yeah. It's the number that's in there, 4.186.
I don't think, wait, we have to divide it by something?
You use the mass of the Cheetoh. Mass of the water.
Wait, so what's mass? It's your water number. Whoa, what the heck? Wait, are you wearing your producer under that blue shirt? Oh, okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah, I got it. Divided that by 60.
We have to divide the number that you multiplied by.
I don't know.
So I got 7,000.
So you're going to do that in number 16. In number 16, you're going to divide by that.
So divide that by that?
Yep. Your answer should be in the thousands. Answer should be in the thousands. For 15. Yeah, your answer for 16 should be in the single.
This one Cheeto is 1,000 calories.
That would humans would be like, oh, there's 5,000 calories in this Cheeto. Well, it's 60.
Americans.
I would argue that Thanksgiving is the most.
8,000.
It's more American than the 4th of July. What is more American than sitting around, picking out food, getting so full that all you can do is sit and watch TV the rest of the day, and go shopping the next day? It's the most.
I know it's more normal. Mr. Fortunate.
Although, don't get me wrong, 4th of July is very American. Setting off loud things that you blow your hands off. That's very American.
Hey, here's the good thing. Here's the cool
Country.
We only killed cow. We ate
Yeah, like all things that can be sold wrong.
Everyone's celebrating English. No. So optimization. Even before the war, like July. Speaking very.
Wait.
There are a lot of different.
It's such a combination, I think, of
Well, it's like common more friends.
We're getting our actual value.
and it also combines with like British safe
That's what it is for mom.
So then that kind of recombines the modern thinkers and the old why
I want to hear this.
Christianity stopped like toppling over to that everything. Wait.
What are we talking about?
All right, so once you've got your answer for 15, your answer for 15 should be in the thousands. You're going to divide by 4,186.8 for every food calorie. So the reason why you don't want to know how many joules, like you would hate to find out that every Cheeto you ate had 7,000 joules of energy in it, right? And so it's like, how many joules did you have? Well, I had 13 million joules of energy. Like, nobody wants that. So we divide by 4,186.8. We divide that, and that gives us food calories, which is a much more manageable number. Okay? So that's going to be your big answer. 16 is like the big answer for how much calories you thought one Cheeto has from the lab. Once you get there, then you're going to be ready for number 17, the expected part. Vaughn, put the phone up.
Error to be as small as
Okay,
possible.
good. Looks like the phone. And you can see why I might get confused.
Yeah, we got like 80%.
This is what I got off for division.
I think you divided the wrong numbers. The number you should divide, this answer should be in the thousands.
Yeah.
And then you're dividing it by 4,000. You should end up with a number that's like
Because
1
my
or
answer
2.
is like 7,000 something.
It's 7,000? So divide 7,000 by 4,136.8. All right.
Here, I can try.
Your expected and your measured values. So the expected value is going to be this. This is the expected value.
Yeah, it's better if it's smaller.
Okay? The measured value is going to be your answer to number 16. Okay? That's a lot of stuff going on there, so it's a little easy to get confused. But your measured value is going to be your answer to number 16, which 16 is your answer to 15 divided by 4,168.8. Or 86.8. So let me come around and let me see where everybody is. Let me check on your answers. Let me see how you're doing on the math. Let me check your calculations. Let me make sure you're on the right track. Once I've done that, I'll come back up. We'll talk about 18 because it's important to talk about sources of air. And then you're pretty close to done. All that's left is anything that you need to finish from 11, 12, 13, and 19 doing a conclusion on a separate sheet of paper. So you're in pretty good shape, and we've got 15 minutes left. So I think you can finish or at least get very, 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 very close to finished. So let me come around and see how you're doing on 15, 16, and 17.
Yeah, I really hope our percent of error is typically high.
On this lab, yes.
Good, because I get it 80%.
Yeah, that's not surprising. And we're going to talk about why.
And it's supposed to be like, isn't percent error supposed to be small?
I would like a little bit better because of
Distance between the couple
That's a good
Cheeto.
So there's a gap between the Cheeto, and so the Cheeto's trying to get its heat into that, but it's going out around.
Like our firelight around the Cheeto. Yeah, that was also good.
I gotta walk around.
What?
Can I walk around right? I was there like, hey, you were
we're now Roman, and they're like, no, we aren't. And they're like, what's your religion? And they're like, we believe this one dude, he like killed 17 people or whatever. And they're like, cool.
It's gonna be big.
What you do, bro? Yeah, it's like, oh, there's another god I had. Yeah, that's fine. Like they didn't care. That's why, like Jesus, right? That's why the Christians. That's why they got that, right? They're like, oh, Jesus, sure. Like
So what do we,
in our
so this
religion,
one we just have to write
we
what,
have to say that the other one.
what each of them.
And the Catholics are like,
Yeah, so like what part of
we only believe
the
in
experiment?
our one guy, and they're like, when you die,
Why hates what part you hate?
Could, conduction be like the Cheetoh?
crazy. But then the
Not
Catholics
so much.
learn that, and then
Cheetoh-
they're like, yeah, your holiday.
Yeah, because the Cheetoh's giving off the energy, right? So that would be conduction is like where there's physical contact.
So
It's
the
transferred.
technology,
Actually, which one
okay,
is
and
control
then
action?
connection, so that was physical and.
That one's the war.
I just spent all the
Very
last
similar
Yeah, that's
ideas
a circulation.
to
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so what did you do?
Yeah, the thing is, there's actually references to like what's its
Well,
name?
think about it like this, right? Caesar sent to kill the leader of the
Yeah, George V, the Leviathan. There's actually something that existed in the mythos of the Area 68 at the time.
Make sure to eat where
We just didn't know that.
They've got more kinetics.
now.
Neo-pagan, that's a cool movement. I'm a
It's going to be a high. I wonder why.
Oh, you actually, no, you're not getting it. You're like legit.
Fair excuse.
I was just gonna say, you wouldn't love that.
Also, I just
Yeah, that's Irish, you know,
that's very disrespectful.
You guys getting there on the numbers?
we don't know my dad is.
Yeah.
I could,
Yeah, we should do that. We talked about that one briefly.
my mom's side, my mom's.
Yeah, mine is,
But mostly Irish.
mine is right.
So I technically,
Yeah.
my dad's moving.
Well, not again.
Alright, how we doing?
Yeah, we're pretty sure my dad's.
You get the grass down the snow down the bottom there. Where's down?
I think
It's fine. Lower is better, but this is reasonable.
The hat that I'm wearing now.
Yeah, like, you can't understand why people do things.
Oh, for what it's worth, you're actually not as You just want to see it yourself. I do it all the time. Yeah. And it's 4,186.
Oh my goodness. Straight up.
Alright, what'd you guys get?
Or like our measurement tools.
Yeah, for what we're having.
78's a passing grade.
Oh, that's right. All right, let's talk about possible sources of error. So if you remember back when we've done labs, we've said that the amount of error you should have is 20% or less is accurate, and 10% or less is very good. We got most of you in the range of 80. So the question is, why is the percent error so bad? What are some errors in this lab? So this is a really important one too, number 18. Why are the numbers so atrocious in this lab? Say?
Is that
Yeah,
like,
Vaughn.
Allow you to escape through areas that doesn't want.
So a lot of it was the heat's escaping, right? So you could see smoke coming out. You could see flame escaping. Some of you left some slits open in your skirts and would not be accepted at certain religious sects would not have approved of your covering job on your Cheetos. Gosh. So it's important to make note that a lot of the heat is escaping, right?